What's up, everybody? Hopefully, you had a good weekend. Hopefully, you've been well since we last did one of these. Me and my older sister talked about mental health. There's also, a big picture with mental health, and that's the whole healthcare system, insurance, and all that in this country, which is a complete clusterfuck. Pardon my French, but I mean, it is in a lot of situations. There might be people from like politicians, like Hakeem Jeffrey is useless. Uh, the Twitter, Facebook, and all those, Instagram, all the social medias for people like, that do it for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, social media shills like Harry Sisson and whatever his friend, and just going on and on about healthcare. And of course, they have to throw Donald Trump in on it right away because without that, I mean, they didn't mention him every 9 seconds. Where would they be? Because you could see their policies and everything. I mean, it's always proven to go this way for the longest time. And remember those, veteran suicide numbers that we averaged 47 extra. The numbers kept going up 47 a year between 2000 and 2018, and suddenly back-to-back years we lost over 300, but now we're right back to its peak immediately in 2021 after everything. So something happened when the normal people weren't, the normal old hacks that we've had in DC for forever weren't running things. But again, they wouldn't get anywhere if they had mentioned every 9 seconds. Their shtick, it's what they got. And, they can't help themselves. And I'm not saying that, I'm just saying healthcare really in this country is through, Bush and all kinds of people on, like, has been, cataclysmic, but they're going on and on. In particular, about if Trump wins, he's going to get rid of everyone's healthcare and kick tens of millions of people off of their healthcare plans, which, by the way, he never said. He said he replaced it with something that actually functions for us and not just the companies, who is the only thing that a lot of this functions for. And those people are also allegedly fighting for people, fight for them so they have health care and all these things, when really all they're fighting for is to keep people broke while enriching the companies. And you can't argue with that because, the profits that they make. And some examples that I have right here on this very table to go over, back up anything and everyone, no one can deny it. Everyone has to agree on that one because the numbers don't lie. I'm not the only one that deals with this stuff. And people pay, again, they pay premiums out the ear. That's the nicest way to put that, for healthcare plans and insurance and all that. And then, boom, after paying all that, thousands and thousands and thousands without ever using it, you have an emergency situation, you get charged an obscene amount of money for it. The insurance company pays pennies on the dollars for what the actual facility charges you. And it happens over and over again, just like Meg, older sister. She had, let's say, a health issue emergency that popped up. And even though they covered a bunch of it, she still had to pay thousands. I'm pretty sure there was two numbers in front of the comma out of pocket for getting this thing that she needed done. And it's funny how much they profited, off of her, and how much, less everything gets settled for. I mean, but that's why they're all billionaires. Can't deny that one. I'm not going to get into details with her, but that was a crock of shit. And now we can go over mine from, go back all the way to, when I had the accident in 2019, I got ran over. I think I got, by the time it was all said and done, like well over $150,000. And, between, everything, life flights, all the stuff, a week in a hospital because the VA didn't figure they should call my hospital room, even, to figure out where to deliver the wheelchair. So, that all tacked on because of their own stupidity. But, it was over 100, almost 200,000 with everything, life flights and all that thrown in there. And, the insurance company only had to pay like 40,000 out. But like, I get charged well over 150,000, almost 200, and you only had to pay 42. So why did they charge me over 4 times what they actually had to end up paying? And then we can get into Tennessee. And, I have the numbers right here from some of the stuff. My Tennessee gallbladder had to have surgery. Absolutely sucked, by the way. Worst pain ever. That's coming from a guy that's been run over. So watch out for that. But here we go. Just some basic, stuff right here. I got charged $1,587 for something, and the VA only had to pay $857 to cover it, which is $700 less than I would have had to pay myself. Then we can get to another one, anesthesia. I got charged $2,670. The VA only had to pay $283.83. for that, which means they got like they only got $2,300 less dollars that they had to pay than I would have had to cover. Another one for $382, they only had to pay $25.71, which is just there's another $300+ they didn't have to worry about, which again keeps them going, keeps us broke. If they didn't do it, we would have to pay it. And then here's this one for the CT and the chest X-ray, $1,455. They only had to pay $91.52. So they charged me literally in some of these instances $1,200-$1,300 more that I would have had to pay. The insurance company only had. I mean, dude, can't understand how I get charged almost $1,500 and they don't even pay $100. How that's a problem? Like there's something cataclysmically wrong with you, and that's the system. That is the system that has been set up here, and the facts don't lie behind that. They profit hand over fist, which that shows there because everyone, whether it's just or not, they're all getting paid in, but they don't have to pay nearly as much as we would have to. I mean, it shouldn't be like that big of a disparagement. Yeah, there shouldn't be that big of a difference between what they charge us and then what the insurance company actually has to pay, especially in instances like Hannah and my sister, where they pay in hundreds of dollars every month. And then when something bad happens, the insurance only has to settle it for, pennies on the dollar from what they would, get us, which is just, never adds up to anything that you paid in. But you have to keep paying that premium so then they can settle for less. So they keep making money hand over fist from you. And then they don't have to pay anything out, which is why the whole thing, I don't know what to call it, but that's the entire scheme and why they're also filthy rich. And I really don't want to say, it's healthcare. I mean, technically it is, but it's really, I don't know it isn't healthcare. I'm not sure if it's even sick care because you pay through the nose when you're healthy and then you do it again when you're sick or an emergency happens. Well, they barely pay anything, which is you paying a lot. $1,300 difference right there if I didn't have them. If I get charged much, that should be the charge. Like we should get charged the same amount between us and them. There shouldn't be that big of a difference, especially with how much people pay into it. And that's really, that's the scheme. It's really just pocket lining care when you think about it, to keep those people up there in those insurance companies rich and doing well. And, while keeping you down because you have to keep paying them for them to pay, nothing, because that's just all profit to them. So you pay $400, a month for insurance, you get a $1,500 bill, and they don't even have to pay 100 of it, even though you just paid them, $300+ a month. Doesn't add up. It's a lot of profit, a lot of pocket lining, which is why it's as gangster as it is. I'm not saying it's terrible, but the system is rigged to make the rich richer and keep people down. Just like Obamacare sucked, where they were trying to find people that couldn't afford the insurance and didn't get it. And then at one point they told me I was too poor, so even if I didn't have the VA and the ex-wife wasn't covered by whoever Taco Bell was covering at the time, their coverage was, I don't remember. But if we didn't have them, then we didn't even make enough money to be fined for not having health care if we didn't have it, which is just obnoxious. Like you didn't make enough money for the government to fist you. That's a miracle in and of itself. But it sucked. The rollout sucks. The regulation sucked. The limited companies in some states made premiums skyrocket because they were the only one in town, so people had to pay it. I think it was Arizona, if I remember back correctly, that the premiums were astronomically obscene. And then you got in trouble if you didn't have it, which is just, I'm sorry. Doesn't work. We all deserve better, both civilian, military, first responders, veterans, everyone that I missed between all of that. Like we all deserve better, and we deserve better than what right now just lines the pockets and makes the 1% even bigger, more powerful with the money they have, and keeps little people down. Because if I didn't have them, I'd be paying astronomical amounts, just like when Meg had that thing and she pays them an obscene amount of money a year, and they pay pennies on the dime, and she had to cover the rest of it. It's just dumb how that system is the way it is. So you can't say that it doesn't need like a lot of work. You can't say it. It's undeniable. It's indisputable. And, that goes for everybody. So, I'm just going to say, don't listen to the jackasses, the politicians, don't listen to idiots, social media idiots. Don't listen to any of them and let them gaslight you. He's going to get rid of it. Like, it's not the greatest thing ever. The system is kind of god awful in most instances. And they're just trying to, and most of them are bought and paid for by the DNC or the politicians that are bought and paid for with your tax dollars, which makes it even better. That's probably my favorite part. they're gaslighting you and lying you on your own taxpayer dollars to keep the machine rolling, where they all get, big pharma and their lobbyists and the money, and they keep getting all of that while keeping the people, all of us, down. But I'm smart enough to see it. They're trying to screw people. Both sides suck. And there's a lot of people that aren't there. And, that's a problem. But don't listen to the drivel being spewed by these jackasses, because it's not good. And it keeps you down, and you can't deny any of it. And that's where I'm going to leave it so I don't get in any trouble. But thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget all the platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Spotify for podcasters, iHeartRadio, Good Pods, Amazon Music, Audible, Overcast. It's everywhere. YouTube and Rumble for the videos. Don't forget the sponsors with the Reaper Apparel line. Reaper Apparel Co. Great products. Hodge Twins, Hold the Line, W Energy. They're all everywhere. They're all on the link tree. So make sure you find that, subscribe to it, share the hell out of it all. I'll be back again quick. Check out the TikTok. I appreciate y'all. Peace.